So, I'm going to read a story tonight for Storytime. And this story is called Stop, Drop, and Roll. And this is a really good book. And you know what? If you like the book, you can check it out from your local library. Do you guys know where your local library is? Does anybody know where the library is? Yeah, where's the library? Here. Good. So Stop, Drop, and Roll is written by a woman named Marjorie Kyler, who's an author. She happens to live in a state called New Jersey. Does anyone know where New Jersey is? We're here. You just say here. So she lives down in Princeton, New Jersey, near the capital of New Jersey in Trenton. And when she was going to write this book, she's a very famous children's author. And when she was going to write the book, she went to the Office of Fire Safety and she wrote this book. So that we are going to read Stop, Drop, and Roll. And it's about a girl named Jessica. And Jessica was a worrier. She worried morning, noon, and night. She worried about her spelling homework and learning new steps in ballet class. And remembering to fill her dog's water dish and waking up in time for school. But one Monday morning in October, Jessica's teacher gave her something new to worry about. It's Fire Prevention Week, explained Mr. Martin. So for the next few days, we're going to talk about fire safety. Uh-oh, groaned Jessica. And this Friday, Mr. Martin continued, we've been asked to share what we learned with the entire school. Oh no, moaned Jessica. Let's begin with smoke alarms, said Mr. Martin. Your home should have them on every floor. Automatic sprinklers are a good idea too. Smoke alarms, sprinklers, Jessica had never seen either in her house. And your family should also have escape plans in case of a fire, said Mr. Martin, and fire drills so everyone knows what to do. Jessica chewed her pencil in half, escape plans. Now she was really worried. Now parents, I'm reading to the children, but there are important lessons in this book that I can tell you these kids are not responsible for. You all are responsible for. So I ask you, as I ask the kids in school, do you have an escape plan in your house? No one says yes. You get an escape plan and you explain to your kids when the fire alarm is going off and if there's smoke in the house, where to meet outside of the house. It can be a tree in the yard, it can be a neighbor's house, but you have a house. That is your job to go home and make sure you have an escape plan. Do we understand? They understand. Jessica chewed her pencil in half, escape plans. Now she was really worried. That night, Jessica announced, there's a big problem in this house. We have no smoke alarms and no sprinkler systems. We don't even have an escape plan. If there's fire, we'd be in trouble. Her mother puckered her forehead. I remember buying smoke alarms, but I guess we never got around to installing them. And we talked about someone to put in sprinklers, said Dad, but we're also too busy to make an appointment. And what about extra batteries for the alarms, reminded Laura. Yeah, said Tom, we need to keep batteries around here. Jessica twisted her napkin. She knew the real reason Tom wanted more batteries. His birthday was in 3 days. He wanted batteries for his presents, but fire safety is more important than birthday toys, isn't it? Yeah. We've got to do something about this now, warned Jessica. You're right, said Mom. After dinner, we'll make escape plans and find those smoke alarms. And tomorrow I'll get extra batteries and make arrangements for a sprinkler system, said Dad. But Jessica still felt too worried to sleep. She tossed and turned all night. The next day, Mr. Martin wrote even more fire safety rules on the blackboard. Never play with lighters or matches. Do we know what a lighter and a match is? No, good, let's keep it that way. Never play with lighters and matches. Keep electric heaters at least 3 feet away from things that could burn. Keep extension cords away from doorways and being pinched by furniture. A professional should check chimneys and furnaces in your home each year. Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Martin went on and on until Jessica had to cover her ears She'll never be able to remember so many things. At dinner, Jessica asked, have we ever had our chimney checked? Yes, answered Dad, when we bought the house. Parents who have chimneys, how often do you get them cleaned? It should be every year. And if you don't, and you light a fire, and a squirrel made the nest because it's starting to get cool, or there's a lot of soot buildup, guess what happens to your chimney? It causes all sorts of fireworks where the fire department comes. And you know how we put out chimney fires? Not with water, because then we would crumble your masonry. We take a big ball, we put a tarp in your living room floor, will at least protect your rug, and we drop the big ball through the chimney, and the dust and the ash and all will spread along all your favorite pictures. Doesn't happen if you clean your chimneys. Just a thing. Dad sighed. Every parent can sigh. I'll put that on my list of things to do. But that didn't stop Jessica from worrying. She went through the entire house, checked cords and smoke alarm batteries, and she had another sleepless night imagining all the things that could go wrong. On Wednesday, Mr. Martin had even more fire safety rules. Heat makes smoke rise. So if you're in a fire, you must crawl under the smoke where the air is cleaner. And when you reach the door, touch it. If it feels cool, it's safe to open. Jessica tugged at her barrette. What if the door felt warm? What should I do then? If the door's warm, continue Mr. Martin. Don't change it yet, Mike, by the way. Don't open it. Find a window and call for help. Then wait for a firefighter to come and tell you what to do. Don't change. So we're going to stop right there. By the way, my helper tonight is Michael. Everyone give Michael a round of applause. I think he's doing a good job. If you can follow with the pictures. If you can't, you're not doing a good job. But I think the hat helps. So we're going to stop there because these are some very important lessons right here. This is fire safety. If you're sleeping in bed, and you do, and parents, here's another lesson. Everybody sleeps with their bedroom door closed, right? You never sleep with open bedroom doors, ever. Bedroom doors are always closed. It's the safest thing you can do. There's plenty of things, you can Google it, you can look on YouTube. When a bedroom door is closed, everyone has a much, much better chance of survival. So you sleep with bedroom doors closed. Open doors brings in more air, more oxygen. Oxygen's what a fire feeds on. So if you guys are sleeping in the middle of the night and you wake up and there's smoke in the house, and you see the smoke and the smoke alarm's going off, and smoke alarms are loud, they go beep, 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 or anywhere in your house, your job is to activate your escape plan that you talked with at home. And you go to a door. We're going to pretend this is your bedroom door. You touch the handle. If the handle is cold and feels normal, you go out the door and you try to get out of the house as quick as you can. If the door is hot, you go to the window and you go to that window. You make all the noise in the world and you bang on the window. There's a window behind here. I know it. There's a window here. You bang on the window till help arrives and you let people know that you're there. You do not hide. The one thing you will never save is don't be a cat. You never be a cat. Now let me tell you why you don't be a cat. A few years ago, like 3 years ago, we had a fire across town. I'm on Company 1. We're next to the police station. The fire was in Fardale. That's closer to GW school. And so I was like on the fourth truck that arrived. By the time I got there, the first 3 trucks were already conducting operations to put out the fire. There was one cat missing, unaccounted for. So when we arrived, the chief went to me. He was like, Tom, go find the cat. And I was like super excited. Want to know why? Because look at these pictures of firefighters finding cats. If I found a cat, I would have way more likes on social media than anybody. I can tell you, my dog gets way more likes on social media than my kids do. And if you save an animal, you could save a kid and it doesn't really matter to people on social media. You save an animal and you're a firefighter and you look like that, it is like awesome. I'm like going to be a hero. I'm going to drive my wife nuts in the back. And that she's going to be like, everyone likes Tommy. but that's what I'm going to do. So I was like, I'm going to find that cat. And I know what cats do in a fire. They hide. And we're not going to be like a cat. Are we going to fight? So I put on my air mask. I have my axe. I go up into the house. I ask the firefighters there, which way to the master bedroom, meaning where the parents sleep. They're like, up the steps. I go up the steps. I find the bedroom. I go down. I crawl. I look under the bed. There's a little cat. Looks just like this guy right here. Those eyes were staring at me at the bed. I reach down. Come on, kitty. The little cat goes to the other side of the bed. I crawl on my stomach to this side of the bed. Cat goes to the other side of the bed. I use my axe, not the pointy part of my axe, the handle, to try to coax them out. Goes to the other side. I'm like, there's my glory. So I radio the chief, and I'm like, yeah, 130. I need a little help. I found the cat, but I need help. Second floor, master bedroom. I'm going to have to share my glory. I should have said, and send ugly firefighters, so they wouldn't get as many lives. I didn't. I took who I got. And there's now 3 of us laying on the floor, every side of the bed. We're smart. We shut the bedroom door. We know what cats will do. They hate fire. We're not going to be a cat. All of a sudden, the cat, he realized he was trapped. He ran right past us, down the hallway in the bedroom, into a pile of laundry. I had a cat carrier. I was prepared. I walked up to the pile of laundry. I picked it up. It was hissing and purring, and I threw it into the cat carrier, locked it. And my big moment when I went out, very happy owners, their cat was saved. That was the only thing missing. Pull out the cat and a bunch of dirty underwear. No good picture there, but the cat was saved. Oh, and then I broke out in hives because I'm also allergic to cats. But we are not going to be a cat. We're going to be children. And I can tell you about a child in Mahwah a few years ago who we're going to act like. It was a girl who lived right down the road from here. She lived in Society Hill, and there was a big fire in her condo. There was a big fire under her condo and up in the hallways of her condo. And she went and she checked the door. The smoke alarm went off. She was 9 years old. She was home by herself. That's not much older than a lot of people be. She checked the door. The door was hot. She knew not to open it. She went to the balcony, and she started yelling and screaming and waving. As the first chief and police officers went on, they saw her immediately. Every other part of her building was surrounded by fire. That's not a good thing. She went there, the police officers, and if you've ever seen Mahwah police officers, they're like really buff and built. They do a lot of bench presses and push-ups. They guided her and said, jump down to us. She listened to the police officers. She jumped into our arms, and she did exactly what they told her to do. Afterwards, they asked, she was just getting checked out, waiting for her parents to come, who were just gone for 10 minutes when all this happened. And she said, I did what the firefighters told me to do. I checked the door, and it was hot, and that's a very important lesson. She opened the door, it would not have been good. So you guys we're going to behave like a Mahwah girl, and we are never going to behave like a cat, correct? So what are we never going to behave like? And what do dogs do in fires? Anyone know? They generally bite me. They like to bite the fire. They get angry. Cats want to hide. Dogs just get angry. Panic. Dogs are crazy, but I love them. I got the best dog. His name's Pepe. You may change, Mike. So let's find out what happens to Jessica. And there's one more very important thing you need to know, said Mr. Martin. If your clothes catch fire, stop what you're doing, drop to the ground, and roll over until you smother the flames. Catch fire. Jessica had never been so worried in her life. Stop, drop, and roll, repeated Mr. Martin. Let's all say it 3 times. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. All except Jessica. Her worries had twisted her tongue into a big knot. Now we understand what stop, drop, and roll doesn't mean you see fire and you stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll means is, let's say you're making s'mores and a little piece of your shirt gets caught on fire or something, then you drop to the ground and roll around, right? It's only if there's fire on you, you roll around. If you see a fire, don't stop, drop, and roll. Just get away from it. So if you're in the kitchen or something. So when Jessica got home, she made her family have a fire drill. Then she rechecked all the electrical cords, tested the batteries and all the smoke alarms, and made double sure that there were no matches lying around. Afterwards, Jessica felt a little better, but she still couldn't get Mr. Martin's words from class right. Stop, slop, and troll, mop, pop, and bowl. The harder Jessica tried, the worse she did. But she went to sleep feeling a little better. At least she knew what to do if there was a fire during the night. Then on Thursday, disaster struck. Mr. Martin asked Jessica to demonstrate stop, drop, and roll at the assembly the next day. Why me, thought Jessica. On the bus home, she tried to practice the words. Stop, flop, and roll, flop, mop, and stroll, stop, pop, and hole. But they kept coming out wrong. Jessica was so worried about the assembly that she couldn't even enjoy Tom's birthday party. Stop, drop, and mole, slop, drop, and hole, plop, mop, and stroll, she muttered to herself. Because of all her muttering, she didn't even notice when Mom brought in the cake. It had 7 big candles on it, 6 for Tom's 6th birthday, and 1 was for him to wish on. And just as Tom leaned over to blow them out, Jessica looked up and saw fire. Stop, drop, and roll, she screamed. Oh. Immediately, Tom stopped blowing and dropped to the floor. But before he rolled, Jessica saw that Tom wasn't on fire at all. Jessica's worries had gotten the best of her. She was so embarrassed. False alarm, said Dad. Whew, said Mom, you gave me quite a scare. I'm sorry, said Jessica, but I thought... You thought quickly, interrupted Dad, and that's good because it's better to be safe than sorry. And besides, said Laura, you said it right. And that was the truth. Jessica had said the words right. And now that she was confident she'd never forget any of the fire safety rules she learned that week. And you know what? She never did. The end. All right. This was your good night bedtime story. Everybody's going to do Mom and Dad a favor, go home and go to bed, right? No complaining, nothing. None. 0. Except before you go to bed, demand an escape plan. That's it, guys. Thank you all. Have a good night.